With just $100, I am going to only trade gold using the new HankoX trading platform in the Forex side. But I'm going to do things right. There's a whole stigma going out there where people are like, if you're trading $100 to $1,000 or even X, you're only going to get lucky one time. But I am literally going to prove that is all cap. See, the thing is, I've done it so many times and I've proven myself to multiple students that this is all possible. And the only thing that made it so possible is because I follow a consistency plan. And that is literally what we're going to do in this entire video vlog series that I am going to do and show you guys. So that being said, let's go ahead and get straight to talking about what my consistency plan will be to master this whole $100 to $1,000, I guess, or whatever we get it to. So we got the $100 logged into our HankoX account. One thing I do want to mention to you guys is that they are giving me the opportunity to let you guys know there is a 200% sign-on bonus if you guys are ever looking to get into HankoX. Use my code 𝐒𝐄𝐀 when you talk to the live chat and they will give you a 200% sign-on bonus. So if you got $1,000 or if you deposit $100, it will be 200% added onto your balance and you can use that to trade. So make sure you use 𝐒𝐄𝐀. That will be in the description. So now let's get into the actual strategy that I will be implementing. Okay, now coming into what we call calculate.joinsolonetwork.com. This is where we have our calculator that we kind of break down compounding risk and risk percentages. So once again, we're only working with a $100 account. So my goal is to get this $100 to $1,000 in the most efficient and effective and consistent way as possible. We can probably get it to more than 1,000, probably can lose 1,000 or $100. I don't know. First thing is, now let's say we are looking to only focus on a 10% growth until we maybe get to $500. Perfect world is, yes, we can get a $500 account going in about 17 to 18, really 18 trading days, essentially, if we play this right. The first trade we take, all we need to do is make $10 from that trade. That's not bad to do at all. We do it all the time. The second time, once we get it to 110, we need to make $11. Okay, now let's say once we get this account to at least $200, which we can do with the 10% growth, which is really only $20 a day every time we trade. Super simple. Let's say now our account is at $200 and we want to up it maybe to 15%. Now we got $200 and we upped it to 15%. We can, let's say, essentially get to the next part, which is $300. Now let's say we now got this account to $500 and we want to stick to a 15% growth. When that happens, we might have to drop this down because honestly, I'm trying to be safe and not sorry. So if we keep it at 10%, we're still good. We're looking at $50 per day until we get to pretty much $800. We're almost hitting $100 days. Once we get to $1,000, it's pretty much over with. Let's say we go back to $100 and we now go my max, which is 30%, we can get to $200 fairly quickly. Okay, so the first thing is we need to plan this out accordingly. What am I trading is with $100 and I'm only looking to trade gold. However, that being said, there's going to be 3 different strategies / rules that we're going to implement. And the very first one we're going to implement is knowing our risk percent, also knowing our risk tolerance. I will always say that you always want to go big when you're growing a small account because what? You have nothing to lose. But the problem with that is when you get so accustomed to that, you start to use that same concept when your account gets to $10,000. So what we're actually going to do is cut the risk and actually be smart about this and be consistent about this, because I really want you guys to understand that this is possible. It doesn't matter what your risk percent is, as long as you understand it and stay consistent to it, regardless, you will be successful. So now let's say we know what our risk percent is. The second thing we need to know is our actual trading strategy. What trading strategy are we going to focus on? I got a lot of trading strategies that we're going to knock out, but we're going to stay consistent with only 1 to 2 different trading strategies. The last thing is the most important thing, and that is patience. Okay, so now that we got all of this locked in and now we got everything implemented as far as what we're going to follow, next thing I'm going to do is tape this on my actual wall. Now, let me show you guys on the computer what this will look like in a visual perspective. So the good news is that we all know gold is supposedly skyrocket in the end of Q4 for 2024 going into 2025. Actually, it is the most volatile asset out right now. I'm going to take our opportunity to get in the bag and grab some of this money. When I find that range from the top to the bottom, I need to know where's the A point and where's the B point. The moment I find that range, I'm going to try to catch it in somewhere in these areas, and and then look for the buy. The thing about gold that is different from Forex pairs and different from a lot of other pairs is that 9 times out of 10, you're never going to see it pull all the way back to the equilibrium part like oil would do, which is something that I trade a lot, and then go up. That's what I'm not looking for gold. Since this is a different ballpark, I'm trading it differently. What I'm actually going to be doing is looking for these marks around the trend line. So just because we know that it is very trending and it is following this trend basically structure, I'm going to be looking for supply demand within this area. And another thing I'm going to be using is moving averages, because moving averages really helps me fine tune a valid key level or a valid supply demand level. So if I see my moving averages is somewhere around here and I'm looking at this is a very strong structural level, now I can zoom in on a smaller scale, maybe like a 5 minute from a 1 hour, and maybe I can find a range there. And then once I find that range, I can then now tell that's the equilibrium, and that's 50%. So anything going under that, I'm confident in, and I'll be looking for the setup. Instead of me looking for the setup down here to trailer to buy, I'm going to be looking for the buy setup here. Now gold's been doing that honestly for the past year, and if you clearly see here, this is exactly what I mean. If you were to catch a buy and you would say you would catch it here, but you were like, I wanted to break 50% of this, and it never did, you missed this whole ride. But if we scale in this whole time frame right here, which we're going to do now, we're on a daily time frame. Let's go into the 1 hour. Since we on a daily time frame, we can find these multiple different small ranges. We clearly have a bunch. For those that see it, we have one here and one here. If I was to draw my fibs from this point to this point, anything below that 50% mark, I'm interested for buys. And clearly you see this is what happens. It hit these points and then it went up. I like to look for the lowest point of anything below the 50% mark, meaning that if I'm catching a buy setup, I like to go for the extreme point, which would be down here. Usually this is where I catch a lot of the money. So that literally is the only thing I'm going to be looking for when trading gold. So that's what we're going to be doing here. That's how I'm going to be growing this account. That's how I'm going to show you guys how this works, because this consistency whole structure applies for any account. I have been doing it on my YouTube videos, on my live streams, and also on my Instagram, and I've been teaching it to my students, and I want to teach it to you guys and literally show you guys that this is possible. You just have to train your mental to get there, and that's all you need, nothing else. So let's get to that. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and let's grow this account. Let's do it.